Good morning, friends. Once again, it's Prashant Ajmera going live on YouTube channel, uh, Ajmera Law Group, youtube.com, Ajmera Law Group. As we are doing the uh, live broadcast for the study in Canada and an immigrations. Today is we're going to talk about the Nova Scotia. We have been talking about this program since last 8 days, and today is the ninth day on which we're going to talk about the province of Nova Scotia. As you know, the Canada is a very large country, and there are 10 provinces and 3 territories are there. In every province, there is a shortage of worker, shortage of people, and that's why this province has made an agreement with the government of Canada to attract the immigrant to that particular province, depending on the demand or a need of the provinces. So, what we're going to talk today is, as I mentioned, about the Nova Scotia immigration program. So, as we know that this general student visa program is for across Canada, most of the people make a mistake of immigrating. When it comes to immigrating to Canada, they go for a study to a college and not to a university. Once again, I'm telling again and again to in all my YouTube video that if you are looking for an immigration to Canada via study program, give a first choice to a university. Post graduation diploma or PGDBM, which we call it generally, is not a university program. It's not a master's program. It's a program after the 12th. That being said, obviously Nova Scotia has a universities, University of Nova Scotia, and a few other universities are there. Plus colleges are there as well. So Nova Scotia has the different programs which we're going to talk today about this program in coming months, in today's sessions. So one is the graduate study program or graduate entrepreneur program. So if you go to Canada, the government of Canada realized it that many people are finding it difficult to get a job in Canada, and that's why they have decided to have uh, created a new stream which is called graduate entrepreneur programs. Under the graduate entrepreneur programs, basically you are studying for a 2 years and then you are having a 7 bands in IELTS. You are not in a position to find a job or you do not wish to do a job, but you want to start your own business. So rather than looking for a job, you can start your own business in which you have about 33% of the ownership and more. And you have to run and manage this business for a period of 1 year. If you run and manage this business for a period of 1 year, while you are having your own student visa work permit, which could be for 3 years, it can convert into an immigration. That's number one. Number two, the another program, this is graduate entrepreneur programs. The other program is a skilled worker programs when it comes to the job offer. Have a job offer, 1 year of an education in Nova Scotia, and the valid work permit of 1 year you have it, and 1 year of an experience in a category C and D, and 5 bands in IELTS, and you can obtain an immigration. So this is very low threshold. Once again, for the Nova Scotia, when you are looking into it, as I've always said, that if you wish to study in Nova Scotia, you need to find a job offer uh, or an occupations which are in demand, and you should go and study only those programs. Many students are going to Canada without making any planning, without any proper consultations or a research, and then they just want to go and then they take the odd cases or odd programs. I have seen number of students are going to study law, psychologies, sociologies, uh, and those type of programs are not in much in demand for a foreign students. Yes, there is a demand is there for the local people. So if you're going to study this kind of a program, it is going to get into the problems of getting an immigration uh, because they want to study abroad. So they think that when we study abroad, all and everything is life is going to be set, but that is not the case. So my humble request to all of you would be that if you go for a study, make sure that there is a demand of that kind of a study what you're doing in that country, and also you want to find out how it is going to convert into an immigration. Number two. Number three, you want to find out if there is a licensing requirement to study that education in Canada or not. So under the skilled worker programs, you need a job offer, 1 year of an education in Nova Scotia, valid work permit of 1 year, you should have it, and 1 year of an experience if you have, that would be very good. And if you are working in C and D category, which is a lower category, then you should be working for that employer who has given you a job offer for a period of 6 months. Occupation in demand. Just see this, there are only two occupation in demand as of now in Nova Scotia, which is nursing aide and helper who are helping the doctors and nurses in the hospitals, and the truck driver. So NOC 3413, which is a nursing aide, and NOC 7511 is the truck drivers. These are the two occupations under which if you have a job offer, 12th pass, 1 year of an experience, and necessary license, with only four bands, you can immigrate to Nova Scotia. So this is the occupations in demand. These are the occupations may not qualify in other way, but as there is a shortage of this worker in Nova Scotia, you can qualify under these programs. After this, we're going to talk about the express entry. Uh, of the Nova Scotia. Under the express entry of Nova Scotia, Federal Express entry, you should be registered on Federal Express entry. Then you have a job offer, which is an LMIA approved. You have a 1 year of an experience and six band in IELTS. And if you have a proof of fund, then also you can immigrate to Canada, to Nova Scotia under the Nova Scotia PNP program. Uh, Nova Scotia Express entry experience class. That means the Nova Scotia people are already working in Nova Scotia in some kind of a work permit. And with that work permit, now they wish to stay permanently in Nova Scotia. So again, you should be on the express entry pool. You should be on NOC A and B category. You should have a language of six band and five bands in IELTS for B category. Uh, you should be 12th pass with the 24 years, 21 years to 55 years of an age, and 1 year of an experience in Nova Scotia. So if you have come to Nova Scotia on a work permit for a period of 1 year, if you have worked, if you have a necessary IELTS test, then you can immigrate. Obviously, with all this category, it goes without saying that when it comes to the Nova Scotia or any of the provinces, try to do a study only at the university, first one. If you are going to study in a college, try to study the program which is a shortage in that country. Always improve your English. Learn an English from an institute who is not processing the student visa programs. So this is the Nova Scotia experience class program. Obviously, the Atlantic Province pilot program is also applicable in Nova Scotia. Now we come to the another major category, which is a Nova Scotia business category. Under the Nova Scotia business category, you should have a net assets of 600,000 or 3 CR in Indian rupees. You should have a 3 years of an experience of running and managing a business in your own country, or you could be not owning the business, but you could be a senior manager in a company. You should make an investment of minimum of 150,000 Canadian dollars. You should have five bands in IELTS. Plus, obviously, you have to come up with the business plan. You have to provide all the documents for your source of fund, and that source of fund needs to be attested by the Indian chartered accountant, preferably, and definitely the Nova Scotia government approved chartered accountants. You have to do it, which is Grant Thornton, KPMG's, MNL, and these three or four companies are there who is going to validate your documents, and they're going to find out what is the your source of fund. So they work in line with the government on behalf of the government of Nova Scotia, and just to make sure that the person is having a source of income is legitimate and backed by the proper source, and money is not being derived by some illegal activities or anything like that. So this is the business immigration programs of Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia is means basically a major port. So anybody who is interested in related to the port activities, freight forwarding activities, it's an ideal place. I just in August I visited Nova Scotia in Canada, and it's a very thriving, nice town of Halifax, right on the seashores, and it has a beautiful view, and beautiful businesses are also there. Uh, and but very quiet communities, very nice, very natural sceneries and everything. So if you want to have a quality of life living in Canada and wish to immigrate, then Nova Scotia is another good province that you can consider for immigration. When it comes to the one of the questions I received from one of the viewers in the past days, that what are the documents required for the business immigration categories? So for business immigration categories, I divide it to three parts. One is the part related to your personal documents. So what are the personal documents you should show? Obviously birth certificate, marriage certificate, passports, uh, education documents for the schools and high schools, uh, than your college diploma or university degree, whatever you have. So these are your personal documents. When it comes to a business document, you have to show the registration of the business, all the licenses related to the businesses which you received from the state government or central government, uh, plus the income tax returns. Income tax returns includes the acknowledgements. Also, it includes the computation of income, plus you need a profit and loss account. So all these four things should be there. If your turnover of the company is higher, and if you have an audited uh, financial statements or profit and loss accounts and balance sheets, then it should be provided. And Canada, in Canadian provincial governments and federal governments, they would like to see the income tax return for as many years as you can provide. So that is also one of the ideal way or a good way to look at it, the for an immigrations, that you create all these documents together. What are the other personal documents? Obviously, your personal income tax for your husband and wife both, personal bank statements, plus all the assets what you own. Like say, for example, you are having a some kind of a land or a building, office, flat, bungalows. Then you should show the purchase documents, ownership documents, the tax bills, or whatever you have it. Plus, you want to show the valuation report. Generally, your valuation report should have also the gentry value or the municipal value. Plus, it should have the market value of that one. That is also very important to show. And then you should, when it comes to the land, fixed deposit, insurance policies, mutual funds, investment in shares, plus your capital account in the business can be shown as your asset as well. So these are all assets is combined. Plus, in that, out of that one, you have to reduce or deduct the any loan you have taken from the banks. So when you are a sole proprietor, you are the business owner 100%, and you are this one in the same. But when it comes to the partnership firms and the private limited company, your exact shares in the business should be shown. Even in the properties also, if you are three or four family members or two family members are the owner, then the valuation report should show that what is the percentage you own in that business, and what would be the market value of that percentage. Could be anything between 5%, 1% to 99% or 100%. So accordingly, you have to show. And if you have bought and sold any business or any properties or any assets, then that also should be mentioned very clearly. Generally, we try to see show the documents from age 18 and above in a way that what was the income generated when you purchased your first property or you started the business, from where did you bring all these assets. Inherited assets is also accepted in most of the province in Canada, but they would like to see that these assets are coming from more than 6 months or 1 year before you have made an application. So it's not that you just made an application yesterday, and the property was transferred to you last week. So they do not wish to see this kind of a situation as well. So these are the documents requirements. What are the requirements for the business plan? The business plan is the most important aspect of your business immigration application to Canada. Generally, I prefer the people to look at the either buy an existing business or a go for a franchisee. So you will have a lot of help and support available to start, run, and manage your business. If you are not in a position to do that, then and if you are not interested in doing that one, then only you should go for a starting your own business, because when you start your own business, obviously it's a cheaper to do it, but also at the same time it requires a lot of work by you to understand that what are the rules and regulations related to starting your business. You have to do a lot of research for the licenses, permits, government rules and regulations related to the taxations, labor law, and all the other regulations which applies to your businesses. So that research being done, what are your competitors, how are you going to market it, what is the viability of your product or services which you are trying to sell, whether there is a similar businesses are there or not. And most important aspect in your business plan is that do you have a necessary business plan to execute this business? Because if you say that I'm going to start a manufacturing unit which requires a $2 million in an investment, and you don't have that $2 million, then obviously that plan is not going to. So that plan should be realistic, well researched, and you have done it in a way that you know what you're doing, how you're going to do the business. And that shows your seriousness of doing business in a particular province or in Canada. And then only the officer is going to get convinced that yes, you are a serious businessman, though you are an SME, small and medium sized enterprise, but you are serious in doing business in Canada. See, if you look at the most of the province, the business people which they invite is only like a few hundred per 2 months. Like I was looking at the Nova Scotia website yesterday, they are inviting only few hundred people per intake every 2 months. So it's not like a thousands and thousands of businessmen are coming. And out of that also, they want to make sure that these businessmen who are coming are serious businessmen and not the businessmen who are just interested in immigrating to Canada. And one of the biggest advantage of immigrating to Canada under the Nova Scotia program is reduction in the fees. It can reduce your fees of your children's university education by 80%. So all the parents who are well-to-do, who are in a position to obtain the residency and citizenship by investment, they should consider it as soon as possible, because your children can study up to grade 1 to 12 at no cost. And after that, uh, after 12th, if they go to a university, your fees can be reduced by almost 80%, which is a substantial saving. So when you have a two or three children, certainly you should consider about the residency and citizenship to Canada or USA, European countries, wherever you want your children to study. If you are not in a position to do that one, you should consider making an investment in a property, making an investment into a stock market, government bonds. And if that's not possible, make an investment into some business. But create a portfolio of your assets outside India if you want your children to study abroad. Because irrespective of how wealthy you are, it will pinch you and hurt you, or you will feel that, okay, we are spending a lot of money for our children education, uh, which you are basically converting from Indian rupees to a foreign currency. So thank you very much, guys. Today's that's all I time I have it. Tomorrow is the last day. We're going to talk about the Prince Edward Island. Please do not forget to subscribe to our channel, ajmeralaw.com live slash live, where you can see all our YouTube channels and social media. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com slash Ajmera Law Group. Also, do not forget to send your feedbacks and the comments, what you have it, or if you have any questions, please send it to us, and we'll be more than happy to cover this one. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow for the Prince Edward Islands Immigration Program.